Hello. First, I'd like to start off and say thanks to everybody who has encouraged me to speak and those of you who invited me to speak. I am truly honored that I would ask to be giving my take on the industry. Uh, and basically, what I'm going to talk about is the systematic stripping of the spirit of the independent contractor. Over the last 5 years, from 2008 to 2013, we have had numerous mandatory requirements that have all driven the cost of doing business up in this industry. And we're going to, I know we're going to start seeing more and more and more. I consult with people every day that have decided to get out of preservation altogether, unlike many of the seasoned veterans who have modified their business model and diversified a little bit, if you will. Our company does not do strictly property preservation. However, it can be profitable, and we haven't eliminated it from our portfolio. And as we move on to the next slide here, you'll see where I have examples of raising the bar. There are numerous examples in the industry of raising the bar, and the first one that actually, but I'm going to pick on a service more than the rest of them, but I'm going to pick on one service where service expectations have risen so high and the value of the service has dropped so much. And if you look at the chart that I did here, I drew this chart out for my Business 101 class when I was explaining some stuff to some students that we had one day. But in 2007, we're going to, as I said, this is for lawn service only. And I'm going to pick on this service for the very simple reason. When this comes to mind, a comment that I hear in business, well, it is kind of a fact in business. You can't have consumption without production. And I do believe the lending institutions have had quite a bit of consumption, and now the production has fallen off so bad. The quality, not production itself, but quality of production has fallen. And this chart is going to help us take a look at what I'm referring to there. In 2007, the average price of a lawn in the property preservation industry, the average fee paid to a contractor was 45 bucks. And for that service, it took about 20 minutes at a property. You had to give about 12 photos, maybe 3 to 5 minutes back at the office, filling out the invoice and sending in the pictures. Well, in 2008, things started getting crazy, and this is where we had the inventory explosion in the industry between 2008 and then as we've started seeing 2011, the inventory started dwindling, and now we're seeing a flood in the market of contractors and not enough work to go around. Supply and demand, we have heard that phrase over and over. But in 2008, they started asking for photographs of meters, adding to what we already had to take. Fees started dropping a couple bucks here and there. 2009, they wanted exterior inspections added to this thing. The fees again dropped a little bit more. In 2010, we started seeing interior, exterior pictures. They wanted bids. They wanted roof photographs. Again, the fees dropped again. And now they wanted PCR, a property condition report added, 150 to 300 photographs. Now they want all kinds of plumbing inspections, roof inspections. And again, fees continue to drop. Today, the fees for a lawn are averaging 15 to 20 bucks. You're spending well over an hour and more back at the office with administrative time. So technically your workload has increased about 3 to 400% while the fee has dropped 56%. And in the next slide you'll see here, I kind of get a little brazen What I'm referring here about the alligator mouth and the hummingbird ass, these companies, national asset management companies, or as we have come to call them, order mills, they go out, they negotiate contracts that benefit their company, and you know what? That's business. You go out and negotiate a contract that benefits your company. However, they expect us to fulfill their contractual obligations. And again, raising the bar. Let's take a look at some other issues like such as the winterization service and how money gets thrown down the drain. One of the main issues in the industry is there is no minimum standard across the board. Nobody has the same quality control policy. Everybody wants to be different. Every asset management company, whether it's Safeguard, Cyprix, FAS, as any other business, they all want to be best. They all want to be number one. And how do they get number one? They offer more service for less money. And that's what these companies have done. They've gone out and they've negotiated contracts for their company without calling my company, your company, or any other boots on the ground company and saying, hey, can you do X amount of work for X amount of money? If the companies did this, I would have no problem with this because then we would be in on the negotiation process as far as providing information. Logistics to do a property in Silver Springs, Nevada are going to be different than the logistics of cleaning a property in Reno, Nevada or Las Vegas, Nevada. In metropolitan areas, you have amenities. You have large hardware stores where pricing is less than in your rural areas. And I'll give you an example. Pricing in the rural area for a water cap, $5 for the water cap. You go to Home Depot in one of the cities, you get them for 99 cents. So that's one of the issues that goes on here. They do these blanket pricing, and you can't make, some people cannot make them work in this area. And let's take a look at the winterization here. Let's take a look at the standard. HUD, on the slide there, it says, this is from the HUD specs on winterizations. Unless otherwise specified by local variation, the winterization process must include cleaning toilets, draining of all plumbing and heating systems in a manner sufficient to prevent freeze and or damage. And think about that for a minute. It doesn't say 2 cups of antifreeze in each trap. It doesn't say 5 gallons of antifreeze in a commode. It just says put it in the system. Adding antifreeze to the system is both acceptable. So when you look at some of these things, and our company back in 2007, we were trained by a Fannie Mae representative and a HUD contractor who said 2 cups of antifreeze in the traps. Upon further review, we found that the spec sheet that they were working for was actually designed by FAS, and they built it off of the HUD specs. And what they did, again, they went out and they increased the service without increasing the dollar value of the service. So, and is that a bad thing? Well, yes and no. It's bad for us because it cost us more money to get the job done. And it's not bad for them because they're actually offering more service for the same amount of money, but they're not concerned with us losing money. And that's the problem I have. Recently, and we'll move on to another issue in the industry, some companies are calling out for, if you look at this next slide about air fresheners, one company actually told us we had to put Renews-It air fresheners in a house. And when I called them on this and I said, hey, look, you're increasing my overhead without increasing, and I just can't do it. The specs on a janitorial call for one air freshener in or per wet room, I believe it is. One air freshener per wet room. So what you have here, a bathroom, a kitchen, a laundry room, they all get air fresheners. So let's take a look at air fresheners that cost 3 for $1 that are acceptable per the specs. If you have 5 air fresheners going into a house, it's $1.65. Multiply that by 100 properties, that's $165 you're going to spend on air fresheners alone for your janitorial service. If we're to put those dollar a piece air fresheners, brand name renews it air fresheners, it's a $500 bill for the month, and now you're looking at a difference of $335. And let's make no mistake about this, folks. We, the boots on the ground people, you put all that, all your resources go up front. You're paying labor, you're paying your insurance, you're paying all this money out of your pocket in good faith that you're going to be paid in 30 to 45 days. Basically, you're loaning them money. And I have said this, and I'll say it here again. I challenge anybody to go out there and borrow $100 from your bank for 45 days interest free. When you can do that, maybe things will change in the industry. And until then, we are loaning them money interest free every day. Please keep that in mind. So, as we move on again, I said they're borrowing money, and now this is one of the things that baffles me. Not only are they borrowing money, but now one of the things they want to do is run credit checks on us. Shouldn't we be running credit checks on them to find out if they can pay us in 30 days? Just food for thought, folks. One of the other issues that I see running around the industry is people trying to organize some sort of reform, and the need for that is huge. How to go about doing this, I'm not really sure, but I do know one thing. We need to stop the revolving door process of this industry. We need to stop hiring 500 contractors in an area that only needs 100. And one of the things, I recently spoke with a former vendor recruiter for one of the major national asset management companies who told me in my area alone that they hired over 100 contractors in the state of Nevada, and all they had in their inventory was 204 properties, and they hired over 100 contractors, which means 80 of them, 90 of them are going to be out of work in a week, which is exactly what's happened in the area, and people are struggling trying to make ends meet and excuse me, figure things out. One of the things that our company has done, and I highly recommend this to every company out there, develop company policies that benefit your company and help streamline processes. It's one of the things that when I hear, when I do consultations, I hear this all the time. And as we move to the next slide here, you'll see what happens with this revolving door process as we just hire a bunch of unqualified contractors. They'll burn out in a month, and then we hire more. That's the MO in the industry right now. Obviously, we have a loss of qualified contractors. There is an endless supply of subpar contractors, and I think we have all in the industry that the veterans have fondly referred to them as Craigslist crackhead hacks. Whether they're crackheads or not, I don't know, but I do know they are hacks, because we do get the shoddy workmanship, and we do get a tremendous need to rework and repair messes that other companies have made. And let's take the winterization, for example. How many times have you gone to a property that was winterized by and their stickers are all over it. We don't need to name names here. We all know who these companies are that do this. But the sinks are filthy. The commodes still have dried feces and stuff on them, and there might be toilet paper in them with a little bit of pink on it. Because they've cut that service fee so much, people are cheating the service, and that's what happens. They cut corners and cheat the service, and then we get this employee mindset versus the independent contractor, because over the years they have put in so many mandatory requirements. I'm sorry, you're just not an independent contractor anymore until you tell them no. I hear on a daily basis that people are afraid to say no because they are fearful they won't get any more work. And that is the little carrot, the dagger, whatever you want to call it. That's the thumb that these people keep on these companies, and it is a black eye to the industry. And there is a serious need for reform. And as I was saying about our company with policy, if we move on again, the reform must start with the boots on the ground guys. It must start from the bottom and push its way back up. And this can only, we can achieve this by showing some kind of solidarity. Whether it is everybody take a day off just to show them, hey, we are together, we are communicating with each other, schedule a sit out for a day, or whether we take the whole week of Thanksgiving off, who knows, or whether we develop policies or procedures for our company. And I'll tell you something, we have policies in place with our company, and this is some of the things that we have eliminated with our company. In 8 years, we have not had a back charge. We have not had a debris count controversy after we complete a service. The other thing that our company does not do is bids after the fact. Everything, the procedures that we have in place, all the fees and services, whether it's safety issues, whether it's hazard material removal, whatever it might be, types of repairs, minor repairs, a tree needs to be removed because it's dead. All of this stuff is approved on prior to our services being started or completed. In addition, on the back end, this reduces times for the work orders to be approved. It also reduces time. I don't know how many of you have ever completed a service. 7 to 10 days go by, and you start getting emails, and you're arguing back and forth. No, there's 75 yards of debris. No, we only see 30. We don't have a picture of you raking the leaves up. We get everything approved up front. All numbers are approved. And what that did for our company is it stopped a negative revenue stream. And what I mean by that is a back charge. A back charge or a work order that you get having you return. You need to return to the property on your dime. That's a negative revenue stream. You might be going to the property, but that is time. Time is money, folks, and don't forget that. Even if you're doing the work, you deserve to be paid. Your time is money. You need to put a charge on it, and that is something, as I said, the hard chargeback in the industry is something that just flabbergasts me, and I do not understand how people sign a contract that leaves that open, that they can come charge you back. There's no time frame on the charge, no statute of limitations, if you will, on the chargeback. And this is, as I said, I feel that all the property preservation, boots on the ground contractors need to come together on whatever issue people think is viable. Whether it be take a day off, whether it be take a week off, schedule a vacation at the same time, or develop a policy and everybody adopt some kind of a policy. And I feel the policy that we use would benefit the entire industry. We go to a property, we inspect the property, we come back and we give them every bit of information on the property. Every repair, every safety hazard, every health hazard, whatever we see needs to be done. If appliances need to be removed, if there's a hole in the roof and there needs to be something taken care of there, are there windows broken? Are there holes in the floors? Does the carpet have to come out? We all know all the multitude of issues that we find when we get to these properties. Was it a drug manufacturing operation in the house? Do we need hazmat in there? All this kind of stuff, that needs to go back. And here's our procedure. We go to the property, we inspect it, we give them a complete property condition report and push everything right back on them. We do this in the first 24 hours. We all have a 72-hour window. It's now their responsibility to approve everything within 24 hours so you can clean that property on the third day and have it back in within the 72-hour time frame. It has worked for our company for 7 years. And there is absolutely no reason it cannot work for your company also. What would happen to the property preservation industry if everybody decided to take one day off? And we all decided, or let's say, hey, you know what, for Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving falls on a Thursday. We all want to travel on Wednesday. Let's take Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday off. What would they do? What could they do? All they could do is sit at their desk and beat the pencil on the desk and go, damn, we weren't prepared for this. They really can organize. Maybe we better listen to them. It would show some solidarity. And believe it or not, I think, and it's just my humble opinion, it would be a positive way to help the industry. It would bring all the organizing a little bit with the boots on the ground people. It would also bring three elements that are very important into play working with each other: the realtors, the boots on the ground, and the lenders. And make no mistake about this, folks, something I didn't say back when we do our inspections, the realtor is included in everything we do. From the time we get a property, we are in constant contact with that realtor, finding out what is there something that we need to be aware of. Did you find something in the attic? Is there something in the basement? People miss things, and it's a human thing. They make mistakes. So having another opinion, having a fresh set of eyes on a property all the time, it's always a good thing. It's not a bad thing. Um, and as far as I get ready to close here and turn this over to John Allen over in Texas, I want to close with this. Execution really matters more than ideas. And as everybody contemplates maybe taking a day off, let's think about something for just a minute. Execution matters more than ideas. We get caught up in the dogma of our positions and our ideas, but any seemingly good idea poorly executed is worse than a half-baked idea with flawless execution. That's just some food for thought as we close. If we can assist your company with a consultation, send us an email at consultationservice@alladayllc.com. And once again, I do thank everybody for asking me to speak and give my perspective on the industry as I have seen it for the last 7 years. And hopefully we will see some change come to the industry. And now I'll turn this over back to Paul and John Allen down in Texas. Thank you and have a great night, folks.